today we will be covering which projects are implementing AI into the blockchain and how they are doing it. As an AI developer and as a Web3 developer, I will give my opinion of the projects that are trying to do this. So, if this interests you, let's jump in. Well, this is the paper that I'm going to be analyzing today. This is from February and it's from Galaxy Research. Here they focus on decentralized compute and on machine learning, artificial intelligence, general intelligence, artificial general intelligence, zero knowledge infrastructure, zero knowledge DeFi, zero knowledge gaming, and AI agents. The big player around decentralized compute is Akash, of course. Akash is made with the Cosmos SDK, so we know that it's highly reliable and has big interoperability with other blockchains. Here we see the metrics. At first sight, they not seem very impressive. You see here that they got it average, as they say here below, 33% for compute and 16 for memory and 13 for storage. So they might not seem impressive, but for a blockchain adaptation, they are very good metrics, because as they compare here with Filecoin only got a 12%, so not bad at all. And of course the big narrative is the GPU power. As we see here, they got over 90% of their 800 being rented. So that's because everyone wants to have GPUs for training their models or making the inferences. So they launched their GPU service on September 23, and we can see that it has skyrocketed. So I think Akash has a very good growth potential in this upcoming bull run. However, we can see that it's not very cheap against some centralized alternatives like Best AI, but they are working on making it better. But of course, it's hard trying to coordinate GPUs all over the world to serve centralized clients. So when they say yes, when they send a job to train the GPU, they allow you to select the region where you want to use the GPU. And well, that's the big player around decentralized compute. So in decentralized machine learning, this project I think has a very, very big potential. It's called Gensin, and at first sight it seemed like I could not put any money there, but their main focus is for training the models. Training is the hardest task because it requires a lot of compute. Inference, when you train a model, you give the big amount of data to teach the model all the knowledge that it needs to answer your questions, your queries. So it's a lot harder to train the model, and it costs a lot more. So they have not launched yet a functional project. They here list the projected price that is very competitive against the centralized alternatives. But since they have not launched yet a functional fully project, I was highly skeptic about this. But then I went to the research papers that they list here. And they are very good made research papers. I had not read them, of course, because they are very long, but I will, because I think it's worth the work. And they are papers from many years, from 2021, and the other one is from 2017. So very long papers, very well written papers. So there is a big academic team working here, and I think they have really worked in a way for working around with machine learning, for training on the blockchain, and that's impressive to me, because how you can coordinate all the machines and making them work together in an honest way is something amazing. I'm very bullish on this project. And since they have not launched a very known project right now, I think they have a very big potential. The next category is Decentralized Generalized Intelligence. Here the big player is, of course, BitTensor. BitTensor works like I tried to mean BitTensor. It has subnets. It's a blockchain made with the tokenomics of Bitcoin, and the main difference is that when they mine a block, the miner must provide intelligence to the network. And how they do it is that they divide the task for text prediction, for image generation, for web scraping in specialized subnets. I tried to mean in the text prediction subnet, and I can say it's very competitive. They are trying to bring natural selection to the blockchain space, so the miners must compete once against other in order to be rewarded with the block, and they fight for these rewards with intelligence. So I think this project has grown a lot, and I think it has a lot of growth to go, because there are a lot of developers working, and a lot of AI developers also, and they are not relying on a single way for making the prompts or the image. They are giving the toolkits so that all the developers can work on them. So they are, if one subnet happens to be not successful, the whole project will continue thriving, because there will be another subnet that will be successful. If one miner is not working well, they put you apart, you lose your register, and another better miner wins your place. The same with the validators. So it's a very competitive network with a lot of developers there, and with written, of course, all the SDKs are in Python, and Python is the language of machine learning. So BitTorrent is a safe bet in this current market. Of course, nothing is guaranteed on blockchain, It's like the Wild West. I love it, but BitTensor is a safe bet on this space. So the main narrative is that the user that needs the prediction or the intelligence from the network sends a request, the validator sends its request to the miners, and it selects the best answer for the user. That's how it works. I'm here to say that it might be the case that in some networks somebody trains the model using decentralized compute, and then, well, they use the recursos from a decentralized compute provider, and also they can do the training using a specialized network for training, and do the inference in BitTensor. So this is like a decentralized AI stack that focuses on the different steps of the machine learning workflow, everything on the blockchain. And so there might be some kind of synergy along all these blockchains. So it's a good bet to maybe buy a little of this, a little of that, and so on. Okay, so the big problem with all the projects so far is, for example, privacy. I think this is the biggest concern, because the queries on BitTensor and on a cache, they are sent in plain text or in anything that can be written, that can be read for the people that is providing the services. So you could not send any sensible information to these machines, because you don't even know where is the node and who is operating it. So this is a big concern. And here comes my favorite one. That's zero knowledge machine learning. Zero knowledge allows us to run calculations without actually doing the calculations. So it is needed in order to know that certain model was run to produce an output. It has very good applications in the blockchain, because it allows you to make the computation off-chain and only verify on-chain with the proof. And that's what these projects are working on. ECKL is the number one project. I like it because it is open source, and I have seen conference of the team. They have a very solid team, and they are working on bringing the necessary resources for generating the proof in order of magnitude that it can be implemented in the blockchain. They are needed because, as we see here, the applications of machine learning into smart contracts need to verify that certain model was run to produce the output. For example, in decentralized finance, we need to be sure that the correct model was run to assess the risk in some validator or in some price change. We need to be sure which model was run, and there is not actually any way to verify this. We could, in a smart contract, just map the hash of the weights of the model and verify, run the model off-chain, because we don't want to pay high fees for running the model on-chain, and just use the proof for validating the output of the model. So the same for gaming. If we want some artificial intelligence to be embedded in the game, we need to ensure that the correct model is being used and not any other model. So zero knowledge machine learning has very good applications. Currently now it's a little bit limited to the courses because we must produce the zero knowledge proof of a machine learning task that usually is expensive, but I've seen that the memory usage and the time needed for running these verifications and generating the proofs are going down at a very quickly way. So we can expect that zero knowledge is going to be embedded in the blockchain and allowing us to run smart contracts that depend on this machine learning. And that would be great because right now the smart contracts are some rigid. They are not flexible. They cannot take decisions. Also they have, for example, some applications in you might want to, well, here they say about WorldCoin. WorldCoin is using your iris as a way for identifying you, but maybe we don't want our iris to be published on the blockchain. So with that device, we could publish only a proof that the correct machine learning model for verifying our identity was run on with a specialized hardware. So I think zero knowledge machine learning will be embedded in all these applications that we have seen before. BitTorrent and in BitTensor, I'm sorry, on trained machine learning models also, and in the inferences. And lastly is AI agents. AI agents, they are a way of looping around intelligence to make functional functional assistants that not only query, but they can link together multiple queries and answers together in order to complete a task. For example, if we want to scrap the web, first we scrap one page, then artificial intelligence gets a resume, and then accordingly with the output, it executes another agent that goes to another page and that fetches another thing, and in this way we can complete more complicated tasks. But for example, the main usage here is that the output of an agent can be published on the blockchain so that it can be used by other agents to make another task, and in this way link together multiple agents' works in order to complete task. Here they list an application on the Bitcoin network using the Lightning network and a library called LangChain. I think it's very interesting the fact that there are some projects building on Bitcoin. I am not a Bitcoin maxi, but of course I am bullish on the scalability of the Lightning network. So I find it very interesting. I think the big player here is SingularityNet. SingularityNet is a player that has been around for a long time. many years. So they know what they are doing. The leader has a PhD and has been working on artificial intelligence and crypto since a lot of years. So I think it's a safe bet. All all of these networks, I would bet on SingularityNet, mainly because of the team and the time that it has been around. So, and I find very interesting this of building AI agents on the Bitcoin network. So that's projects that are here. I will be covering some of them in more detail because I am really interested. And well, that's everything. Thank you so much. See you the next one. Bye bye.